Hello, my name is Ian, and this is the Sunshine Connection. I'm here joined by Steve from the Bancroft Community Garden. And yeah, we are going to start with a little tour of the garden. And yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so this is the Bancroft Community Garden. It's been here since 1994. I've been here since 1997. I'm the coordinator slash manager, but it's all on a volunteer basis. This whole garden is run on a volunteer basis. Um, so one side is the community garden, individual plots for $40 a year. The other side is the farm that we harvest for free donation, free or by donation produce every day, and it's harvest fresh picked multiple times a day, and the community comes in and just gets what they need. So yeah, so this is the table, and this side is the garden, community garden. This side's the farm. Um, so let's take a look. Um, so again, individual plots. People, we have a long waiting list. Um, I'm pretty strict with usage. I check monthly because of the long waiting list. If people aren't using it, they get a one warning, second warning, they get dismissal, unfortunately. I have to be strict because so many people want to be farming, gardening. Um, I am in the process of trying to open up more gardens, but that's a whole nother story. Um, then there's this side, which is the farm. And we, so I'm already, right now, it's almost like spring is 1 month away. So I'm already starting to do the seedlings in the greenhouse. And that is what I'll use to plant out the whole farm I have another person that helps me out mainly with that. But again, once it's planted out, we have lots of chores to be done, and I have people that come in like semi-regularly, and I'll put them to work on smaller jobs.
Real quick before we leave the entrance, I just one of the things that I really noticed when I came in is just the welcoming atmosphere of everything. I see that, and I'll just cruise up here to show people, along with the space of getting to come and make a donation for anything that's been harvested here, which I think is amazing. I also noticed there's the sign with all the permaculture principles up here to kind of help invite everybody into this way that we
Mm-hmm.
can connect in with everything, the garden, the earth, and just how we kind of do life. And then, yeah, just some of the really nice signs of invitation, welcoming everybody, talking about respecting the plants, creatures, and each
Mm-hmm.
other. And yeah, just some of the spaces too that you guys have created in here. Um, look through there with all the seating and the tables, and just I really appreciate all the nice little nooks and crannies, and places that are inviting to the community. It feels very much like anybody can come in and kind of find a spot that they can resonate with and connect in with the plants in the garden and
I'm
get a
really
feel
glad you
for
see
it.
that because that is our kind of been our mission, my mission, or our mission, I should say. Because I mean, I've been as in terms of like what I wanted to see this place come to when I was raising my kids.
Yeah,
I wanted this because it was kind of not this place has become way more beautiful than it was in the past. It was kind of like run down and ragtag,
yeah,
but I envisioned it as a welcoming community space. And over time, with all this work between from volunteers, we've made this place like as you say. So like this is the called memorial section where we have you know little stones from people who passed away who were part of the garden.
yeah.
And then now it's also become a native plants area. So
Oh,
we've
cool.
kind of mixed it with memorial and native planting. And that's been run by a new woman who joined our garden. She's been fabulous. So it's like it's a constant evolving thing. And like you said, it's been about welcoming the community. That's why I swing the gate wide open as well. I have the gate always open, and even when I go to lunch, let's say, and I'm not here, it's open. There's
Yeah,
nobody, could be nobody here, and we still keep it open. That can have its own issues, but mainly it's people do the right thing, and it's become like a very a community. It's a community resource, basically. The
yeah.
space.
Yeah, I love that. I've been in a few times when thinking that, oh, the gate's open, so you're here, and then you're
I'm
not
not,
here, and I'm
right.
like, oh, well, this is amazing to be able to still come experience this peace and tranquility. And yeah, I love your combination there of the memorial garden connected with the native plants, because that very much feels like this kind of honoring and respecting, those that have come before
Hmm.
us in, the memorial part of it, along with the native plants fitting right in with that of what is, from the land, what's, seen us to where we are
And
today,
it
and all
also
those
helps the
ideas.
local bugs. It's all part of that whole thing. And then it's funny too, because then we had another neighbor, just who's not even a gardener, but they're like, "Can we do a gratitude wall?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Oh,
And
those are all the
yeah,
colored
it's just like
papers
it's like
now.
a little written notes that are attached to the fence,
Uh-huh.
and it's because, and that only happened because again, it's like this became like a space, and that is kind of a beautiful thing that like over time, I think that's what the whole thing. Gardens kind of weave community
Yeah.
in when they're like really at their best, because people want to come in, and then suddenly people make connections, and then there's like even people who aren't even gardening want to do something similar like this. So it's
Yeah.
kind of neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can go back, and then so speaking of which, then we have also like our meeting. We have an area here that's just like the meeting section
Mm-hmm.
where people can have like little, like sometimes people ask me, "Hey, can I do a party in the garden?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, "Yeah, just let me know."
Yeah.
And or whatever, so that can kind of happen. And also just to have a space like when we do have meetings. So it's really important to have a kind of like a space like this.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it's like, oh, not for planting or anything, but just for gathering and talking.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was really also appreciating, this is an elderberry tree, is it?
It's a
Or
mulberry,
mulberry, yeah,
and
mulberry.
it's like, yeah, this is kind of our crown jewel
Yeah.
because the kids when it's fully engulfed in leaves, there is a door, like a door on the other
Uh-huh.
side, and we put the chairs in there. It's kind of really
Yeah,
special.
really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
um,
so many nice spaces, and just, yeah, again, sitting space. And
and like these, so again, these fruit trees weren't here like 15 years ago. This was
uh-huh.
just barren, like a barren strip.
Okay.
We call this the rail strip because the train line did come right through here.
Oh, wow.
And we put trees here because we weren't sure of the safety of the soil, because we figured it would be the worst where the train was, where they were putting down arsenic
Uh-huh.
to kill weeds. But over time we've tested it. It's been good. The
Yeah.
soil's been good because we've like put many years of wood chips and amendments, and like you see the ground is high. Is if you go to the neighbor's yard, we're about this much higher than the neighbor's yard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also noticed the sign up at the front that talks about the history, which I think is also really great to, honor where we've come from, and to, yeah, know some of the
Yeah, how it
parts
how
of
it
that.
got developed. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And the city was really good in like, the city actually has been good about like helping us maintain this space as a community space. So
Yeah.
it's been good. Been a good collaboration.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's funny, and yeah, just reflecting on just since obviously we're making a video and you and I can experience this, but starting at the beginning of the video, just coming in and stuff, I didn't sit down in the space so much to kind of drop in, but just as we're walking through and experiencing the peace and calm and everything of the space, the energy is really strong here to be able to drop in. Like, I feel like, I've gotten much more into just chatting here,
yeah,
and sharing stuff. And I attribute a big part of that to, this nice environment that we're in.
that's really another big piece of this place. It's the mental health and spiritual health, and like just feeling like coming into a space that you can quiet down and just be like in full on nature. And actually, in the spring, this place will be really loud with bird noise,
Mm,
like more so than normal because it's so much stuff for them to eat. But they
yeah.
gather here, so you kind of notice a difference.
Hmm.
And there's things like that make it kind of special
Yeah.
to like relax in. And again, that's why I keep it open. I want people to come in here and you know and it's kind of like forest bathing mentality kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah. Shinrin-yoku.
Yeah,
Yes. I love
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to also bring attention over here. And something that I love about the Berkeley area, especially, is just having this massive redwood tree
Yep.
all of a sudden
Yep.
right here
Yep.
in the middle of the garden. And this is commonplace for a lot of places in this area. and yeah, pretty amazing.
Absolutely, it's a pretty cool thing. It does do a little bit of shading,
Yeah, I
but
can imagine.
that's kind of actually beneficial too, because then your plots won't get burned out. There's benefits,
Yeah. And
and
are these giant, just where you put your
this is where
greens and composting
yep, this is
kind of
where we
piles?
put our green matter that has been pulled for weeds, and
Mm-hmm.
so this is the good spot for it because we can't really grow under the redwood tree.
Uh-huh.
So it's like the ideal. That's like again, I'm trying to maximize this space because we only have X amount of space.
Right.
Even though this is one of the bigger community gardens in Berkeley,
Mm-hmm.
but I have the piles here. I have piles over there. I have piles everywhere,
Yeah.
hidden in back spaces where we can't really grow,
Yeah.
but we can make this. It makes super valuable soil
Yeah.
for
Piles of
amendment.
green gold.
Green gold or brown
Or
gold
brown
actually
gold,
after
yeah,
it's
right.
finished. So yeah, it's a process, and I'll let some piles sit for like 2 years, and then I'll start turning them and sifting them and collecting the soil and
Mm-hmm.
like using it for potting soil for the greenhouse and amending the plots.
Nice.
Yeah, and then we also do get city soil because again, this was a train yard, so I need as much organic matter as I can get. Theirs isn't as good as like the one I make
Uh-huh.
because theirs are using green bins from the city,
Uh-huh.
which I don't know what people are putting in their green bins per se, but it's
Right.
pretty good still
Yeah.
though. So you can see we're in the process. Like some beds are not ready, but
Mm-hmm.
that's okay. It's kind of like being fallow. I'm just letting them be weeds.
Yeah.
That helps the soil. And then some are now turning over to lettuces, which I can grow in the winter. But this was tomatoes. That's why there are all the cages here.
Uh-huh.
And they'll probably do tomatoes again come like late spring.
Uh-huh.
And there's a
Ooh,
there's a
monarch
monarch
butterfly
visiting us.
there.
It's just landing right there,
Yeah.
which is not uncommon, which is kind of cool.
I also just love some of the concepts that you've used for constructing things, both from the um, simplicity of things. I mean, just these really nice rows, as well as how you have taken like the tomato cages and done bamboo sticks, and just bringing attention to, there can be all kinds of elaborate ways to garden, and also working with what we have and the simple things. I've done a lot of stuff with, sticks and bamboo, and just making lattice work for things to climb, such as you've done here. And yeah, just that encouragement to anybody doing any kind of gardening anywhere is to, it doesn't have to be some big fancy thing. We can work with what we have. A lot of it can be found objects, or even just object sticks from nature that we can, fashion together
Well,
as you've done there.
yeah, 100%.
um,
It's all. I mean, in fact, since our budget is basically zero,
mhm,
I'm trying to do everything on that method. And
yeah.
so, like these actually come from. I have a patch of. Luckily, I have a patch of doax. It's not really bamboo. It's more of a grass, but
Mhm,
it makes a decent bamboo thing.
uh-huh.
But then I do have people. So again, like people come in like, oh, I have tons of bamboo, and do you want it? I'm like, heck yeah. And so I'll go collect that from them and I'll use it. So like my bean patch is real bamboo, which is very strong. And so it's become a mix, but it's all based on like stuff I can get basically for free
Mhm,
or like you say, or whatever is available and
yeah.
make it work for the garden,
Yeah.
because again, we don't have a budget and I'm like, we're not even like a LLC, whatever,
Yeah.
501, we don't have any of that. Even though been we've been kind of working to decide if I wanted to do that, and I kind of just feel like it's working the way it is. I don't really want to go there,
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother topic.
I know, so many rabbit
Yeah,
holes
right,
possible to
right,
jump down.
right. But that being said, I think what you just said though is important. Like we just try to do what we can with what we have.
Right.
I mean, we do spend money. Like the irrigation system did cost money. Like
Uh-huh.
so, whatever donations we get, or we once got a grant from like a nut. It wasn't so I didn't have to do the. I didn't have to be an LLC or I mean 501c
Hmm.
because this grant came from a bunch of merchants who were just saying, "What do you need? Here's a check."
Nice.
And so they gave me like 450 to help kickstart all the irrigation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and speaking to that of, help from others, and especially around this, what's the greater picture here? This creating community and bringing people together to connect and offer their light and what, they are excited to offer. And in same with supplies that you might be using here, or someone has a bunch of sticks sitting around that you're like, oh, we could use this. And how I think it's really important as we move into a new, better way of doing life together in this world is this idea of symbiotic relationships for everything, kind of a win-win-win-win mentality of like what's good for the earth, what's good for every person that's involved, every creature, everything. And how this idea of a community is so great for that, because people have something maybe just sitting in their backyard that's maybe stressing them out because it's clutter or something, and then they find out that, oh, actually that's exactly what we need at the community garden or wherever, and then they are happy to donate it, and then they feel good, the garden now has something and they're a part of that garden. And again, it's just beneficial to everything that is involved. And I think that's one amazing thing. And I'm curious, on that note, is there a way other than word of mouth of people that are already involved in the garden, that you are able to put out requests or things that could be helpful, supplies or whatever to have here?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a mailing list which I kind of I haven't used in a while, but
Hmm.
there is that and I need to actually. I was just thinking about that too. I need to like get that back going, but I probably will in the spring. I used to put a clipboard and ask people to put their email addresses on there, and I did start doing like, hey, this is what's going on in the garden. Like every couple months, I would just give a shout out and give a little blurb of like what was happening, what was maybe needed.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like getting back to what you say, I think doing what you're saying is important because that's what's creating the fabric. Is like you say, people somehow there's a connection. They don't know how. Like maybe they give something, they feel good, they've given, and then they feel like they've contributed, and it's like a connection, it's an attachment to the space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people actually really need that, to be honest. This kind of space.
They do, you say?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, to be a part of something greater and to
and it's
feel
also like
like that we're
community. It's like you feel
connected.
connected to your immediate, neighbors,
Yeah.
which is like actually a small universe of the bigger picture of the world. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, all our little microcosms
Right,
coming together in the
right.
macrocosm.
And it's
Yeah.
like what we do in a small area actually filters out because everybody there is like that whole 5 degrees of stuff. Someone knows someone far away. What if they
Right.
tell them about it?
Yeah, definitely. Um, I would love to see if there's anything else you'd like to show, because otherwise we could sit down and chat
Well, here's our
more
little
so that I
our
can
little
stop shaking the
okay,
camera in
yeah,
my hands here.
our little kids play section
Cool.
here. Yeah, we have all these fruit trees again. Will start bearing in the summer.
Uh-huh.
Um, and oh, there goes the monarch again.
Oh yeah, yeah. While you're talking before, they're probably wondering why I zoomed my camera away, but there was a squirrel running down the pathway that I was trying to show,
Squirrels are
and
my they're cute and all, but boy, are they
yes, I can
they're
imagine.
industrious. Let's say,
I've had some.
let's just say that. Let's just say that they're industrious.
Yes, I've had some run-ins with some squirrels that have been interesting, but I have to say I do love them. They are quite amazing little creatures and
People like things
enjoyable.
like this little. Oops, it's broke. I actually need to work on this rebuilding it because
Uh
it's
huh.
gotten kind of old. But people love this one too. I've had people just come in here and meditate in this thing,
Yeah.
or the kids love to go in there.
Yeah.
So I need to rebuild that. But that's basically things like that. We have a tree house up over here.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
Oh, I'm all about tree houses.
there's like a little tree house. I built that for my kids basically.
That's
Now that
awesome.
my kids are 25 and 19,
Oh,
but
wow. So
when they
you started this place, you said, when your kids
I
were
didn't start it
younger, or?
myself, but I mean, I got more involved
Hmm.
as my kids were young. And then as they got older, I was able to spend even more time because they were more independent,
Hmm.
obviously. And then now they're like my daughter's up in college. My kid lives on the other side of the country, and so I have lots of time. That's why I'm here a lot now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let me get this camera down so we can sit and chat. Let's see. We're gonna do a little.
And I think I just have a few more minutes, but
Okay.
wrap it
Yeah.
up.
Just sit down for a moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I one of the things that I love to do is see how we can take all the good things that we can be doing in this world to bring connection and stuff, and make it easily accessible to all of us, every single human being, regardless of how much money they have or their life situation or anything else. And I think just by nature of a community garden, that it really offers and supports that opportunity for so many. Again, as you said, your gates are open. People can come in and just, whatever they need to get and meditate, experience the peace and calm and tranquility, if not, so much more, growing food and getting deeply
Mm-hmm.
involved.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so just ways to um, ways to you're fine.
It's
You're,
okay. You can
you're
walk by.
good.
You can
Yeah,
walk
you're
by.
you're good. You're good. This is a casual,
It's
real.
actually better for the video that
Yeah,
way.
this is a real life video, so it's great to see other people coming to enjoy this amazing space.
It's the first time outside of the apartment.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
oh, really?
Oh wow, with your new one.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
Yeah. Come back
Congratulations.
again, please.
Yes.
Yeah. This happens all the time.
Yeah, that's super
First
special.
time coming in.
Yeah.
We have people like who've lived here many years, and they come in. This is the first time I've ever been in here. It
Yeah.
happens a lot. You'd be surprised. And then, so then they come back,
Yeah.
and then they tell their friends.
Yeah.
It's this is what's made this place more. It's definitely activated
Yeah.
because of all this hard work people putting in volunteer wise.
Yeah. Something that whenever I hear about, beautiful stories like that can be shared, is this idea of a guest book. And I'm
I
curious if
should,
you have such a thing.
that's a great idea. I should probably start doing that too.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's
so
so easy too. Just,
I just
get
have it.
a notebook, put it out on the table that says guest book, and
It's
with a
funny you say that
pen.
because I would used to visit. I would work in the city, and I used to visit the garden on Fort Mason.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know that one at the top of.
Yeah.
There's a little garden there, and they had a guest book, and I think somehow they had some kind of sister relationship with another. It said in their history about a garden in Berkeley, which I thought was really fascinating. I was like, this is kind of cool, the guest book. So I think it's a good idea. I probably should set that up.
Yeah.
This again, it's kind of like one of those things where I can only put it out when I know it's not going to be raining anymore.
Right.
But
Or put it under one
on
of
the
your
thing, yeah.
cupboards, covered
But still,
with a
it can
roof.
get. But yes, that's a
Yeah.
great idea,
Yeah.
though. Yeah,
And you could even put it in a little plastic sleeve, or
yeah.
something like that, just
Well,
to
that's what they
give
had at
extra
the other
protection.
place. They had like a little boxed, roofed little thing. So yeah,
Yeah, or like those another thing that I love so much is very common around here is the free libraries, the little
right.
free libraries that people put outside their
Well,
house.
that's the other thing too. We are
Something
working on a
similar.
free seed library
Oh, cool.
that we're going to put on the outside. But actually, it might be good. I'll talk to them too on the inside, and then we can attach maybe the guest book in there. These are all good
Yeah.
ideas.
Yeah.
You know.
I know this is all the stuff if I
Right.
was staying here longer and not bouncing off somewhere else, I would love to come contribute and help with.
Well, you know what? This is what it's like.
Yeah.
This is what makes this place grow. People come in here, give me ideas, and I
Yeah.
either, and like these ideas are fabulous. So it's like,
Mm.
but that's like the beauty of connection, right?
Yeah.
You come in,
Exactly.
you've told me these ideas, and you might come back and see that that's been used. It was
Yeah.
like your idea, you
Yeah,
know?
well, that's amazing,
Hmm.
and thank you. I'm an idea person, so if you ever need ideas, they come sprouting out of my ears faster than I can handle. So,
Awesome.
yes, I could talk your ear off about ideas. But
Awesome.
yeah, so getting back to again, I think it's such an amazing thing to have a place and a space like this, where again anybody can step in whatever way, regardless of any of their life situation. And so, just by nature of offering that opportunity to look up your local community garden, to come and experience and enjoy, would be one thing that people could do. And again, this is something that, for the purpose of making a video, to share with other people that aren't necessarily here in Berkeley, to be able to come to this specific garden. There are community gardens all around the world, and to look up your local one and go experience that. And see, again, they're all different, and you could drop in whatever ways, whether it be offering ideas or helping support ideas that are existing. And then to extend beyond a community garden to wherever comes to mind that you might have thoughts or ideas, how individuals can do this in their everyday life. there's a video I saw recently about this amazing soil creation thing that is amazing and definitely world changing. And unfortunately, for to put one together, it's very expensive. It's like $1 million or so. And that aside, something that can be continuing on, but most people don't have that much to put in and create some amazing soil. So, what are things that we can do either in our own backyards or in any kind of these contexts?
Yeah, there are, I mean, actually, it's funny because I went, I went to a permaculture event, and there are some people actually were doing for even much cheaper than that, making soil building in a really interesting way.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, there are techniques that can be even, again, it's like once the word gets out, you start to realize there's techniques that are less expensive, more expensive. It's still very valuable to
Yeah.
like making good soil, etc., making good growing areas. There's just so much to learn.
Yeah.
It's nonstop. It's constant.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
I
said,
think that's part of the amazing thing is
it
how
is.
exciting that is to realize, it's a whole world. And I mean, it is our world. I mean, it's that greater picture. What I love about the idea of permaculture is so often, we relate it to being out in the garden, working with the land, growing food, all that. And permaculture is a greater idea that can be extended to all of life. How do
Hmm.
we interact with everything in our lives, and doing so using, those principles or ideas.
Yeah.
Is there anything that comes to mind for you that is a really easy path or thing that people can do, whether it be maybe it's starting a compost pile, or I don't know, anything that comes to mind for you?
Yeah. I mean, basically, maybe like you say, like the easiest thing is to just start. Instead of throwing away your green waste at home, make a little green bin
Hmm.
and start making soil. And if you don't have need for it, bring it to your local community garden. They'll be happily to take like worm casting soil. It's like black gold,
Yeah.
you know. And I
Yeah.
have actually had people do that. They were making like worm teas in their kitchen, and they had no place to put. They were bringing me worm tea, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like pouring it everywhere. It's so good.
Yeah. Wow.
So I mean, there's ways to get involved even without being in the garden, or
Yeah.
like actually, or do go in your if you have space in your backyard, make a little spot, make a little box,
Yeah.
or, make,
And then
or on your even on your balcony. I've had people like on their balconies if they only have any of that,
right.
whatever. Or I don't even know, or in your window.
Yeah, yeah. And then, real quickly, I always think of I love to do fermentation, and Sandor Katz is an author that I love because he's kind of just very like, yeah, try this, it's easy, just do something, versus like, having 10 pages written about one simple topic. And so, I know there's many different ways to do composting, the lasagna method, and what, container, and you could read a whole book about just composting. Can you give us just the simplest basic way someone could just start? Like, what are the necessary
That is a
components?
great question because I don't even do anything fancy. I just take my stuff and put it in a bin
Okay.
and just let it do its thing.
Okay.
It's
You
gonna
don't do
do
you
it.
do any layering of
No,
like
no.
the
I
carbon
mean, you could.
layers,
I
or
mean, yeah, maybe I'll spend a little bit of time bringing like the browns and then layering some the fresh wet on. But even still, I sometimes don't. I'm so busy. I just dump it and it's still gonna work.
yeah,
Like my
definitely.
piles are just debris that I just let sit for 2 years and let them do their magic. I don't even try to like make any fancy layering.
Yeah,
It's just there.
yeah,
It's gonna do the microbes, the bugs are gonna do their miracle. They're good at. They're way better than any of the layering we're gonna do.
right.
You know,
Yeah,
they're good at it.
yeah,
They've been millions and millions of years of like learning how to do it.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that exactly. That's what I love. So just throw your stuff in a pile on the ground and let nature happen.
But I
Ultimately,
love
and
what you're saying though in terms of like it's because it's true. Some people feel blocked
uh-huh.
because sometimes it can be too. Oh my God, it's too much.
Yeah,
And it's never. It's just start doing. It's
start somewhere.
right. Start somewhere. Do a baby step, and then you'll start to realize like the next baby step will be easier. And then you start to learn by just doing these little baby steps.
Right.
But again, it's like it's like effort is important. You need to make that first step,
Yeah,
but it can be small. It can be very small.
yeah.
And
And I think what's great too, I always feel, is follow our excitement. That's what our life essence is, right? Like, I mean, why are we here living? Well, let's, do things that we're excited about. So like if you're feeling excited to get some, soil or compost going, like again, just start somewhere, see where that leads you and see what feels good. Like, oh, I'm super excited about, the worm part of it. So maybe I get, more figuring out that, or researching, or just doing through experience and seeing what continues. Because having been a children's teacher for many years, a facilitator, I one of the biggest things that we have learned over time is that human beings naturally have an instinct and excitement to learn, and so this idea of follow the child and their interests is a big focus for a lot of pedagogies, and that can be extended to everything. Like, follow what interests you and get excited to learn. And there's no like this needs to be this way. Like, just
That's what I tell.
explore.
That's what I tell my volunteers when they come in. I have lots of volunteers who have no skill, no experience in the garden, and I'll be like, "I really want to do this. I really want to help." And I'm like, "Well, that's a good start." And then I start putting. I go, "Just start weeding." And I see these. I tell them which ones I want, like which exact plant. Then they're even like, I'm so used to seeing the plants, so I know which is a weed. And I realize that sometimes they don't even really sure because they're hard to determine which is which.
Yeah.
And I go, just get in there. The more you get in there, you're going to start to learn by just doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's like you say, you're just gonna. Everybody's a natural intuitive ability to learn if you just pay attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah.
Well, thank you
Yeah,
very much.
it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, this is one of those things, as with, many of the things that I excited to talk with people about. It could go on and on through millions of rabbit holes, and maybe we'll have a chance to talk another time as well.
That's fine.
But thank you very
You're welcome.
much for saying yes to this conversation, and for everything that you are doing here. This is really amazing. It's really amazing to see, you are in this role of really nurturing the community and so many individuals that are affected in ways beyond what we can even see, even if they've never been to the garden. But someone that has takes that experience to someone else in their lives, and it just it's that ripple effect. And so
Exactly.
yeah, just I want to honor the things that you do see and receive feedback from people that I'm sure feels good and tells you you're on your right journey, and those that you don't see, including my appreciation and gratitude for what you're doing here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Yeah.
helping spread this word
Yeah.
through this video and like spreading that. It's what it's all about.
Yeah. Definitely.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, last real quick thing. So one of the things that I like to do to spread connection is with the joy of kids, and this is a project that I like to do with them, where I say we're going to make some bracelets that I will take to someone to give as a gift to. They don't know who it is, and they have the opportunity to write a message, and the prompt is, if you were to give someone advice on how to be happy in life, what would you tell them? And so these are some of the messages that they've come up with, and I take these all around the world and have had so many good sharings of people, just their experience of it. So this one is make
I love
friends.
that.
And
I love
so
that.
yeah, just so you can feel into if anyone feels connected with you, and don't feel like you need to take one. I want the right people to get them, but if you feel one that calls, I would love to gift it to you from me and these amazing kids. Breathe, and they have their names and their age. So I have all ages at camp. This was the younger age, so a lot of 5 and 6 year olds.
6-year-old saying breathe. That's amazing.
Right? Yeah. This is nature, compassion, the small things in nature, curiosity, love, and friendship. Um, Play with friends, Lucia. Find your favorite thing in nature. Keep smiling.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Notice small things.
These are like gold mine words of wisdom.
Yes. Dance with your friends. That was actually mine. I left it in here. It was my sample. I put that I'm 3 3/4 years old. I always like
Well,
to
maybe you are at
play
heart.
around. Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I create realities with them, and that's one thing amazing about kids. They're so willing to jump into any reality. But that's ultimately what we're here doing in this life. You know, are we creating a nice, good reality in this beautiful nature and garden? Or
100%.
yeah. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I love you, whoever you are.
Wow. Wow.
Go outside and be in nature. And then another, she ended up doing 2 of the breathe. So yeah, I don't know
Well,
if any of them.
I love the breathe one. Actually, I'm gonna go with
Breathe?
that
Yeah,
because I'm
sure.
into like I think meditation has been a big part of me, and breathing is
Uh-huh.
a way to get in touch with feel your body,
Uh-huh.
and feeling your body is like a good way to like and feel the earth, sort of.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Yes. I'm
So,
not going to say more about that because so many rabbit holes, but yes, I
so I'll
agree. I
take
think
that
that's
breathe
amazing.
one.
So we have the 2,
Either
which you can
one.
choose
I'll just take
which.
this guy. It looks good.
Yeah. 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 I
Thank
got
you
the
so
extra
much.
bonus.
I'm
You're
honored to
welcome.
have it from
Yes.
Fiona.
Yeah.
Very wonderful. Tell her I said
Yes.
thank you for
I
see her.
will. And then, yeah. Are you a hugger? Can I give you a hug?
Sure. Give me a hug. Awesome.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much, Steve.
appreciate it. Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Yes. Let's see. Stop the video from here.
Okay.